Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Trying to get a little bit tipsy.
I take you to the candy shop. Whoa, you're so gangsta with it. You
I know you like me, don't you?
I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah.
He was a boy, she was a girl.
But it's 2020, so that's irrelevant.
What more can I say?
Hi everyone, my name's Lily and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a face mask makeup hacks video. This video is basically just a few tips and tricks and little hacks that I have found and learned when using a face mask and having makeup on. Some of these are just general little tips and tricks when it comes to having to wear a face mask. So today's video is just going to be a few tips and tricks on how to be glam whilst having to wear a face mask. So the first thing that I'm going to say is to ditch your foundation. So where possible, try not to wear your foundation whilst wearing a face mask. I have tried so many different ways, so many different times of wearing foundation whilst wearing a face mask, and I just find it doesn't work. If you do have to wear foundation, if it's something that you feel like you really need and you're not comfortable without it, then I would recommend really load up on the powder. Make sure you are using loads and loads of setting powder, and then I would also recommend using a setting spray just to try and fix that foundation in place as much as possible. As a replacement for foundation, what I would recommend is using a face tanner. So my favorite face tanner is actually the Bondi Sands face tan. I'll pop a picture on screen right now for you. It's not very expensive and the little bottle actually lasts such a long time. So when I'm going to be wearing my face mask, I will be applying this every evening before I go to bed all over my face. And even though it's a face tanner, it seems to almost give you like a little bit of a blurred effect, almost like a BB cream. Obviously it's not going to be anywhere near as good as a foundation in terms of coverage, but just having that bit of colour and that kind of smoothed out complexion I find really helps. My second thing would be concealer. So obviously if you have any blemishes that you want to cover or anything like that, rather than having to do a full face of foundation, try to just spot treat that with concealer where possible. That's going to be a lot easier for you than having to wear a face mask full of foundation. I would recommend trying to have some blotting paper in your bag with you, so just on your top nose area and maybe your forehead. You might get kind of oily, especially if you have got foundation on. I think that's a really good way actually of touching up your makeup during everything that's happening, because it means you're not really having to touch anything and then putting it back in your bag. You're literally getting a piece of blotting paper out, using it and then discarding it, and then you can wash your hands and you don't need to worry that all of your makeup is going to be contaminated with potential germs and things like that. My go-to blotting paper is actually the MUA blotting sheets. These are really good. So you get a big box of them here for, I think they're like £1. And what's really good about these is it actually has like a little sticky bit on the inside of the lid, so it gets you a paper out ready. So my next little tip would be to really focus on your eyes and your brows. So obviously this entire area of your face is going to be covered. So if you look at my face now, really the only areas that are going to be on show is my eyes and my eyebrows. Once I've done my eyebrows, they don't tend to move around too much. I think the main reason for that is I do always set them down with a brow gel. So you can pick up clear brow gels really cheap. My favorite one is actually the Collection 2000 clear brow gel, but you can use anything. A clear mascara or even a colored brow gel will work fine as well. And then the next thing would be lashes. So I'm a lash kind of person anyway. If you're not usually a lash person, now might be a really good time for you to try lashes. You can apply them without having to use mascara. So if you are someone who ends up getting quite oily eyelids and the mascara runs, you don't need to worry about that if you're wearing lashes, because obviously you're gluing them in place, so they should pretty much stay put. The next thing on my list would be chapstick. I don't know about you guys, but I found that whenever I have to wear a face mask, I end up getting quite dry lips. So this isn't necessarily like a makeup tip, but I would definitely recommend wearing some chapstick underneath your mask just to keep your lips hydrated. I would veer away from lipstick or lip glosses because they are probably going to run. It will get quite warm underneath your mask. A really good product that you can use that's nice and hydrating and actually looks like a lip gloss is the Technique lip oil. Obviously it's nourishing and soaks into your lips, so you don't need to worry too much about it moving around and kind of looking like a mess. So yeah, the Technique lip oil is a really good product to use, and that's what I like to use underneath my face mask. So the next one is actually a little bit random, and I don't know if other people find this as well, but I find when I have chewing gum or mints that my breath ends up being a lot colder, and I think that's just because the mint makes it appear colder. But my next little tip or trick would actually be to have either mints or chewing gum in your mouth whilst you are wearing a face mask, because that way if you have to talk or if you are breathing through your mouth, the air that's coming out is going to have that kind of cooling effect. I feel like it doesn't make your makeup move around as much. And then last but not least, I think the most important tip is to limit talking where possible. So I feel like when you are talking, you're really projecting your voice, and I think that's what causes a lot of the heat to come out. I think it's the moisture that causes the issue. The heat mixed with the moisture is what causes your makeup to kind of slide. So I found that the best way of still looking glam whilst having to wear a face mask is just to mix all these different factors together, and I think that just gives me the best of kind of all the different worlds. I get to have the lashes, I get to have the tan, I still feel like I look presentable and good, and I'm comfortable because I don't have a full face of foundation on that I'm sweating off underneath the face mask. And like I said, using mints or gum definitely helps to keep it cooler under there as well. The most important thing is always to make sure you are safe. So as much as we all love to look glam, you need to make sure you are being safe. I've seen so many of these fabric face masks. You can get them from ASOS, from Boohoo, loads of places. So I definitely would recommend those as well. Once you've used them once, you just pop them in the washing machine, obviously just to make sure there's no bacteria left on them. I just think they're really cute. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much all of my tips and tricks on how to look glam whilst having to wear a face mask. So let me know if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to look glam whilst wearing a face mask down below in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. If you did enjoy watching today's video, please don't forget to leave me a massive like and subscribe down below. If you have any questions or comments for me, please feel free to leave it all down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram account. I'll put all the details on screen right now, and they will also be down below in the description box. And without further ado, I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.